And two.
It's
Yeah,
getting
sure.
there.
Not yet.
It is getting there. It's just as you're waiting. Cool.
And hello, my dear YouTuber friends. You're live on YouTube. Please do not swear. That's just a joke that went around a while ago. And I've got everybody unmuted. Okay, so we're going to set off from... on this VOR flight. As you can see, I'm over Carlisle Airport. There's quite a few green airplanes on there, which is great to see. Going to set off from runway 6. And let me just swap screens for you viewers at home there. Let's just get to the map view. Now you're seeing my YouTube page. Never mind. Okay, so here we are with skyvector.com. We're over the Carlisle Airport. So what we're going to do, we're going to take off. We're going to tune, because this is a VOR flight, no autopilot. Going to tune to the first VOR frequency, which is taller, which is 113.8. We'll do that in a moment. Fly over to taller, or taller. And then once we reach the centre of the VOR, we're going to fly up to the Glasgow VOR, which is just to the left, up left, sort of northwest of Toller. So we'll be tuning into the Glasgow VOR upon the way to Toller. And then when we get close to Glasgow, we can pick up the Lock 1 frequency for runway 23 at Glasgow. We'll be doing a full stop landing there. Full ILS landing, by the way, chaps, if you're brave enough. It's not too difficult. I'll be talking you through that. Just clear my voice. From Glasgow, we'll be flying on the from radial from Glasgow towards Tiree. And Tiree's on a sort of the Isles, Western Isles of Scotland. So we're going to have to... It doesn't pick up the Tiree VOR from Glasgow. I think the mountains must be in the way. It doesn't look that far. Maybe it's a bit further than it's showing on the map. But we'll be flying on the from radio from Glasgow, and I'll show you how to do that, until we can pick up the Tiree VOR. We'll be doing a... Well, we'll see how the time goes. If the time's going on, we'll either do a full stop landing at Tiree, or we'll do a touch and go and then fly up to Benbecula. That's a great name, isn't it? Benbecula Airport. And again, land on runway 35. So on both Benbecula and Tiree, we'll be aiming for runway 35, and it will be a visual landing at those two airports. So it's quite a challenging. Glasgow's going to be a full ILS landing. But that's the plan. Let me just switch you back. Now, before we start, let me get back to my sim. And I'm going to take off from runway 6. Oops, I'm departing on top of somebody there. Just runway 6, set as departure. And chaps who are in the Discord, would you like to say hi, please, and introduce yourselves?
Yeah,
Hello.
Tom. I'm sorry.
Hello.
This is Tom. I'm from near Charlotte, North Carolina, in the U.S. Nessmuck.
And I'm from southern Germany, Baden-Württemberg.
Hi, I'm Tunesy. I'm from southwest England, Hertfordshire.
Tony Dark
Fracker.
Zero, Yorkshire.
I'm Fracker1 from Scotland.
One more way from Dorset in the UK.
Okay.
This is Baker flying Sarasota, Florida.
This is Lurker, also from southern Germany, Bavaria.
That's great. I think we've got everybody. If not, speak up. It's great to see a good variety of people here as well. I'm spawned in on runway 6. How's the weather looking to people? Do you think we can trust that? We're going to be flying over mountains, over some of the tallest peaks in Scotland. Do you think we can trust this?
You wouldn't see much over the mountains in a cloud like that.
I'm going to go with it to begin with and see how it goes. If necessary, we can change it to scattered clouds or whatever you prefer. Now, I can see Rossin in the distance there. Are you coming to join us, Rossin? Maybe he's not on chat.
Some of the highest mountains.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've done Ben Nevis, I've done I think the top 5 or 6, but I think I've done about 63 in Scotland at the minute, but there's 282 in the Munros.
Sheesh.
So there's still a long way to go.
Ouch. Fantastic. And what was the weather like up there on the highest peaks?
Ben Nevis was not very good at all. It was like zero visibility, pouring down the rain, so that wasn't so good.
Oh.
Other ones, the ones beside that, I've done a glorious sunshine and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He forgot to mention he was on his way to work all in one day.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, chaps, while we're on the ground, we can start tuning in a couple of things here. So altitude initially, and this will change, as you'll see, initially 2,000 feet for your autopilot altitude. I forgot to tell you, I'll be using heading mode in this flight. If you're all comfortable with heading mode, you've got that blue bug on your left G1000. And if you put it into heading mode, your aircraft will head towards it. So it's currently on north by default. Is everybody okay with heading mode? If not, you can just follow us.
I'm using Stephen Weather.
Right, okay.
What altitude did you say?
2,000 feet to begin with.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
And we want to tune into the taller VOR, which is 113.8. 113.8.
Press your B button so you get your brown.
Oh, thank you. I would have forgotten myself. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, currently at 340 feet.
Lovely. So 113.8. Once you've tuned into the taller VOR, if you just swap your nav so it's active in nav 1. If you're unsure, look at my screen. I'm just going to press the swap nav button. And we should get TLA as the identifier, which is correct. And I'm going to use my CDI button down below and change that to VOR1. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about, because not everybody may not be aware. We've got the big arrow pointing up at the top. We've got a smaller arrow pointing towards the big arrow, so we're heading towards the VOR, which is...
Tabuk 78 from London, North London.
Oh, well, welcome. Okay, so we've got the two arrows there. We've got the big arrow pointing up, and we've got the smaller one pointing towards it, more in the centre. next to the VOR letters. So we're heading towards it, which is right considering our current trajectory towards where we are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the CDI knob here to my right. CDI in the center of your PFD. It's a triangular knob. I'm going to mouse down, I believe, to get that middle line, that green line in the middle, centered on both lines. If you're unsure, I did do a video of this, but if you're unsure, take a look at my screen at what I'm doing. So there you go, I've got all the lines centered, basically, to make one straight line. And I'm just going to move my heading bug to, it's about, what is it, about 33?
33.
Perfect, so we'll be on the 33 radial. There's something I'm going to talk to you about radials, something I was talking to Aces about last night, in fact, that's quite interesting, but I'll come to that later. So there we are, chaps, we're all set up. Are you all okay with that?
Yep.
Roger. Good.
Okay, so we'll go full throttle, and...
I'm off the Discord chat because I can't hear the YouTube for the instructions, so I'll be there, but obviously I have to follow YouTube because the volume I'm doing on my phone and the volume is not very good.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Not a problem. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we'll get off to up to speed. Once we're up in the air, we can press... I'll press your autopilot and heading mode once you've trimmed up a bit.
Before we go, can anybody see me? I don't see anybody else. I'm Nesmug.
Now, this is a problem that lots of people seem to be having. Let's just take a look around.
I can live without it.
It's passing you.
You do see me?
Yes, I saw you on the runway when I just passed you.
Okay, everybody's coming in now. Great. I'm good. I can see everybody else.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I forgot to mention everybody joining and everybody watching the stream. That's likely to happen now and again, where we're going to lose people.
Is everybody taking off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to see a good number of people there. Yeah, Nesbook, I can see you there. That's okay, I think.
Whoa, autopilot just crashed me straight to the floor.
Ah,
Oh. Straight into the floor.
no. We'll just spawn on one of us, Steve.
That's alright, now I can take up again, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might want to turn crash damage off, by the way, chaps, just so you don't, yeah. So there we go, let's just keep an eye on the old YouTube. Good afternoon, Steph. Good for you to join us in the chat. And Leighton. And Rifle Musket. Love that. And Rossan, I did see you on at the airport there. You joining us. And David, good to see you. Paolo and Tom. And
Yep.
yeah, it's great. Oh, Tom, you're with us. Great.
Yep. Nesmug.
So there we are. That cloud looks... doesn't look nice, does it?
No.
Oh dear. We'll see how that goes. I'm not hopeful with that cloud layer. Yeah, it's important to see what's coming up ahead, otherwise you'll go smack bang in the middle of the mountain. You're going to have to trust me a little bit on this flight, chaps. I'm going to get to an altitude later, which seems frightening, but it does clear the tallest peaks. So, let's just concentrate on the flight there. You can see the VOR line there. You can see I'm slightly off it, so I'm just using my heading mode bug. Banking the aircraft slightly to the left to encourage the line to come back into the centre. All basic stuff. One thing you can do, and this is something I was talking to Aces, we discovered this between each other, mainly Aces to be fair. If you go down to PDF options down below, there's a button there, PDF options. Right at the bottom of your left PDF.
PFD.
PFD, sorry, PFD, yes. Yeah, I've got PDF on my mind, I'm afraid. My apologies. PFD, thanks for the correction. PFD options there. If you click into that, and if you click on bearing 1, you will get the distance to the Talia VOR, which is quite handy. So it's PFD options, and then bearing 1, you get the... And if you can do it, you can do the same on bearing 2, in fact, it will give you the same reading.
Another handy thing you will get when you do this
Yeah.
is a second arrow, which shows you directly the direction
Ah,
to the subject. You will see it when you're a little bit off course.
perfect. Lovely. Hadn't noticed that, that's brilliant.
Oh, glad to have learned you something. But it would be the other way around this evening.
No, always eager to learn, chaps.
I'm out for the night.
Oh.
I'm hit autopilot and just spiraling into the ground. So
Oh, no.
get out tonight. Have a good flight, everyone.
Oh, okay, Steve. All the best. Thanks for joining anyway.
Steve.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Oh, what a shame. Oh, well.
This weather's crapped out for me. I've got rain, so scattered clouds, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to do the same because it's important to see what's coming up ahead on this flight. So we'll just change that to scattered clouds. There we are.
Are you guys gone already, James?
Yeah, we're gone already yet, but you can spawn on top of us. Is that Arlen?
Yeah. No, I'll catch up. I had to restart.
Okay. That's a good number of people behind there. That's brilliant to see. Lovely. Not quite as impressive. I think Mark Simhanger, he hit 60, 60 people last weekend. That would be terrifying to me, so I'm quite happy with this number.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah.
Loads of people.
And there was quite a few sort of mishaps, weren't they, with the server and goodness knows what.
They kept on losing people.
Which is likely to happen. Chaps, what we can do, we can switch it down to the CDI button to we use our second VOR, second nav rather. So I'm going to press CDI. It should change to VOR. It will change to the standby of nav 2 effectively. And let me just see on the map. So Glasgow VOR code is, or frequency is 115.4. 115.4. So I'm just going to change that there. .4, and I've got that set to nav 2, and it will actually pick up. We're just not going to fly on that nav yet. So I'm going to change it back to VOR 1. Did everybody follow that okay? I went through that pretty quickly.
No
Can
problem
you
on my side.
repeat it,
Do you want me to repeat it?
please?
Yeah. So if you go down to, if you press your CDI button, or you can do it in nav 1, it doesn't really matter. You can do it in either nav 1 standby or nav 2 standby. Frequency of 115.4. 115.4, and that will be the Glasgow VOR, which we'll be flying to after this one. We're going to try and get to the centre of the taller VOR first. And then fly on from there. Okay, let's just see what's coming up ahead. As you can see, the land is rising to meet us, so probably a good time to change your altitude to 2,500 just for now. 2,500, and you can use your vertical speed button on your left of your left G1000. Vertical speed and nose up a few hundred feet per minute. Are you following along, Marshall? That's great. And enjoying watching. That's great. Great to hear.
Which radio did you set on nav 2?
Nav 2 115.4. So that's the Glas.
No, not the frequency. I was talking about the radio.
Oh, the radio. Nothing as yet. Nav 2, yeah, nothing yet. Yeah, we're going to fly towards the centre of Taller VOR first. All I've put into Nav 2 is 115.4 for now. And it's just picked up the Glasgow VOR, but we're not doing anything with it yet. Actually, you'll probably find Glasgow is not that far from... The direction towards it is not that far from where we're currently heading, thankfully. Well, just to make sure, because I think I'm losing a few people, is everybody okay with what we've done so far?
Yeah, it's going with me.
I'm fine.
Okay. If you're struggling, I would advise watching the actual stream if you can, whilst flying. It may help.
Well, everybody just disappeared.
Not easy.
I've still got people in the background, thankfully. Let's see. A couple of names I can't pronounce there. Yeah, there's quite a few people there, I can see. See Fracker, Stovey. New TH15K. Kers. Big Moss. It's great to see you. Red Samurai. Anyway, quite a few people. There's quite a few names bunched up behind me there. It's looking good. Don't forget to look around, chaps. Lovely views of where we're flying here. We are now flying over the hilly... Now, for the person, I don't know if you went off, the person who said you were climbing mountains, this is pretty much the Highlands of Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the West Coast Highlands, yeah.
Right. Are there any famous...
We're not in Glasgow yet, are we?
Not yet, no.
No, well, the mountains are north of Glasgow, the Highlands are north of Glasgow.
Oh, okay.
Pretty country, anyway.
Yeah.
These are just hills.
These are just
Exactly. Exactly. No mountains, only rolling hills.
First mountain on north of Glasgow will be Ben Lomond.
Yeah, there's some pretty tall peaks here, though. We have to climb again in a moment, so we will be coming across mountains of some sort, I think.
James, where did you say we're going to do the first ILS at?
First ILSL is at, just a second, it's at Taller, which is 113.8.
Okay, thanks.
Always glad to watch your videos of both the Holtas and Velocity 1. You'll fly this later, great. Oh, it's Sunday morning, okay. That's alright. And Beluga, it's good to see you. California, right. Okay, so how are we doing? We are 16.6 nautical miles out from Taller. So roughly when we get to the centre there, it doesn't have to be exact. It's not an exact science. I can bring my heading mode back around now as I'm pretty much on that VOR. There we go. Once we get pretty much a nautical mile or two out, then we can switch to the Glasgow frequency. And the idea with Glasgow, again, is that we're going to fly towards it, and about 20-ish nautical miles out, we're going to preempt the ILS frequency. But there's something we have to do with our CDI button. We can't keep it in VOR because it will actually be a localizer. So I'll show you that when we get to it. Slightly different. So we've got mountains ahead. I'm going to start climbing again. I know from experience with this one, we have to get to 2,900 feet ultimately to clear these hills. Or mountains, I'm not sure what they are, ahead of us.
variable throttle quadrant, notice that since the last update, you lose your panel lights.
I'm having no issues.
You might have to go back into the setup panel on the yoke and just switch them back on again.
Oh dear. Where's Hugh today, Alan?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them in here today. Of course, I haven't been in here much either. But
Ah.
I understood yesterday that they were going to fly, but who knows what happens overnight.
Yeah, it's unusual for Hugh not to join in, but not to worry. Just while we're flying, chap.
That's okay. I was going to say, that's okay. I heard enough of him yesterday.
Just while we're flying, chats, for those at home, so where we are now, we're heading pretty much be around here, this location-ish on the map. Let's just zoom out a bit, and then we're going to fly towards here. There's something we're going to have to do to intercept the ILS at Glasgow, because we're landing in that direction, sort of southwest direction, runway 23. But I'll come to that when we come to it. And then from there, well, once we're in Glasgow, we can take it from there. Who's up for an ILS landing today?
Yeah, why not?
I'll give it a go.
Great. Yeah, Glasgow's quite, it's quite, well, there's a few hills, a bit of scenery in the way. That's a lovely livery, whoever's flying in front of me there, the green livery. Very nice. Wow. Okay, chaps, it looks like we're heading. I hope you all climbed to 2,900 feet by now. Looks like we're going to head... Go on.
I think you said 5.
Sorry, can you...
2009, that's fine.
2009.
2,500, so 2,500.
Ah, yeah, I slipped in 2009, but... just before. Yeah, get to 2,900, because literally you'll be scraping the top of the tallest... Now, these are mountains, aren't they?
No,
Oh.
not south of Glasgow.
They are to us, but
You'll be scraping the top of the hill.
Of the world you're coming.
Yeah.
To an Englishman, definitely to an Englishman, it's a mountain. It's taller than the tallest hill we have, for sure.
anyone on the south coast of England, this is a mountain.
Absolutely.
All of Germany.
So there you go. Bit of a trust exercise here. Just trust me, you will scrape the top at 2,900. We're 7.7 nautical miles out from Toller now. We've got an Air Force next to us there. I don't know if you can see that. So, an
I saw
armed...
him before when I could see stuff. I can't see anybody now.
Oh, no.
I lost everybody all of a sudden.
Okay.
So just take it on faith that you're all still there.
We are. Just seeing if I can see you. That's Nesmuk?
Yeah. Do you do see me?
I'm just looking. Can anybody see Nesmuk?
I can
About
see
8
you.
miles
Yeah,
south.
you're in front of me.
Great.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
At least I know I'm still here.
We can hear you. You're definitely there. So we're 5 nautical miles out. We will, just like I said, just be aware you'll be scraping the top of these hills here. Lovely scenery. Absolutely beautiful part.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, by the way, chaps, I mean, you won't be able to see it, but I am running the Velocity 1 with the new SIP update, and If like me, you haven't altered your default fuel, you're likely to run low going to Tiree. But I always find it interesting to get a low fuel warning light flashing at me, and then the master caution as I'm about to crash.
You don't crash, James.
Ha! No. Only every so often. So there we go. That.
Has there been a new firmware put out for the Velocity 1? I'm on 1.1.0.
That's the yeah. That's the SIP. You mean, or the firmware?
That firmware.
Firmware. I think it's 1. I can actually check. It won't affect anything. If you see me go down suddenly, you know what's happened.
You're going quite low to that mountain in front, well, that hill in front of you. I don't know how much you're clearing it.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Honestly, we'll just about clear that. I'm not touching anything. Yeah, 1.10 is the latest firmware.
Okay, thank you.
But there is a new SIP connect out, which improves the SIP functionality somewhat.
Great.
Okay, for those at home, if you're watching this, you can see I'm pretty much going to scrape, hopefully, the top of this hill here. And after we've done that... say again?
Are you trying to do a touch and go at the top of the hill?
You're going to have to repeat that, I didn't catch it.
He says you try to touch and go.
Oh! Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Look at that. Just about scraping the top there. My goodness me, it couldn't get closer. My goodness, okay, that's enough. Okay, so chaps, we can switch now to the... Oh, what's happened to my external view there? That's better. We can switch now to the Glasgow VOR. So I'm just going to switch it over with the CDI button. And with Glasgow, we want to get to the centre of the Glasgow VOR. Again, if you look at the symbology, we've got the two arrows pointing towards... We've got the smaller arrow pointing towards the big arrow. So we're heading somewhere towards it. We just need to encourage it with the CDI knob, the triangular knob to the right. In this case, I'm mousing up with... Oh, no, actually, ignore that. In this case, I'm mousing down to get that line towards the centre. So we're now on 115.4 for the GLW Glasgow VOR. And as you can see, I just need to alter my heading by about 10 degrees or less. Is everybody okay?
No.
No?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Feeling great.
Yeah, I'm good.
So lovely wind farms to our left there, depending where you are. And there's a few of you in front of me. I hope you're confident.
I just was trying to set that stuff up, it's probably a bit too fast. I don't know if I'm in front of you or not.
Oh, not to worry about it. I'm going to be watching you perform your ILS. Now, interestingly, for Glasgow, the runways at Glasgow Airport, now for the life of me, I know runway 23, minus 180, so it'll be runway 5, both have the same ILS. I don't know if you're aware of that. Oh, let's type that in properly into Google. Google. They both have the same ILS, so I believe it's luck of the draw, or the one you're closer to, depending on your trajectory towards the airport. For me, I always pick up runway 23 ILS, and they're different identifiers. I'll go into that in a moment. But the frequency, and it's in the nav again, it's 110.1. 110.1, the ILS frequency. And again, there's a different way of getting onto Glasgow. So in my case, I'm pressing my CDI button to get back to nav1. Oh, press it again. Nav1 standby. I'm typing in 110 is already there. I'm using the outer knob to get to 10. So I've got 110.10. And because I'm using nav2, if you're not, don't worry, I'm probably confusing things highly here, but I'm just going to switch it. I'm just going to swap the nav, so that's now my active in nav1. It won't pick up anything, we're too far from the ILS. I'm pressing the CDI button again. If you want to just use one nav1, that's okay. That's probably the easiest way.
So you said it's 1101.
What
did you say it was?
110.
10.1.
Decimal 1, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm going to...
Everybody's back.
say again?
Everybody's back.
Oh, right, right.
You mean you are fake? For the parallel universe.
Oh, yeah, Nesmuck, I can see you behind me there, yeah. Lovely. It's still all there, that's a good sign. Alan, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm just pedaling along back here.
Okay.
I'm good, thanks.
That's great. What we can do, chaps, we can actually lower our altitude here as well. I would go down to 2,500. And that should be okay. There's no more hills for now. 2,500. And there's a couple of hills, but we shouldn't be hitting them depending on the direction you're flying.
That's the plan.
And yeah, it's all looking good. So what's our bearing to? Can we get the bearing? Now it's switched to ILS. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the left G1000 PFD options again. PFD opt. I'm just gonna change that bearing. We're 33 nautical miles out from Glasgow. That's great. And I'm going to come to the right G1000. Sorry, there's going to be a lot for you to digest in this one. I'm sorry, chaps. I should have maybe thought it through a bit better. I'm going to range out, so I've got the range circled on 15 nautical miles. If you're unsure, take a look at my screen. There's a blue line of triangles, and actually I can see EGPL, which is Glasgow Airport. Where EGPL is where the airport is. We're landing on runway 23, which is coming into the southwest. We're going to have to change a little bit later. We're going to have to come off following the VOR and heading a northward destination. But I'll show you. I'll show you how to do that later. I'll let you know when we're going to do that. Rather, is everybody still lost with what I'm doing, or are people okay?
All okay?
Great.
It's not your teaching.
Right.
And you're doing great teaching.
Ah, that's good. Because, oh, there we are. Something I could mention there with the VORs. I was speaking to Aces about this yesterday, and I was saying, like, at the moment, I'm just, for example, I'm heading towards, not quite on that VOR, but if that was all completely centered, my heading would be, well, it's now 300, but say it was 301, 299, 287. When you look at a VOR diagram, it has the 10 radials coming out of it as a demonstration. But apparently, VORs have 360 radials. So like now, I'm heading on 299. If I was heading on that 299 radial, that is actually an independent radial in itself. So each degree of the compass is a radial, which I wasn't aware of because I always thought it was 10 degrees. Well, there we go. Apparently. So if you're ever heading, you think, well, I'm not heading on radial 10 degrees, 300 or 310. Each point of the compass is a radial in itself, apparently. Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Me and Aces were chatting about that yesterday, but I believe that's right.
That's correct.
That's absolutely right.
Great. I think they just simplify things, don't they? When they show you a diagram, they're simplifying the radials so you don't have 360 different radials, and you're just looking at a block there, pretty much.
Yeah, just be a solid circle.
Yeah.
James, do you remember in our old group, Hein, H-E-I-N?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I told him about the flight today, hoping that he might join us, and about an hour and a half ago, he was sitting on the voice channel in there, but I tried to talk to him, but he never answered, so...
Sounds like he got the time mixed up, maybe.
Maybe, but he's been awful busy, so he hasn't been flying much, and we haven't seen much of him.
Right. Oh, it'll be nice for him to join us again. Yeah, he's from the very first live stream, wasn't he, Hein?
Yep.
Michael, good to see you in chat there, and David and Rifle Musket, I've said hi to you. And Marshall, thank you for confirming that. And crop dusting, yeah, we were crop dusting the top of those hills there, absolutely. YouTube chat, is the volume okay? I've messed around with my volume settings. I had a nightmare trying to start OBS, but I managed it eventually. Let me know if the volume levels are fine, please, or too loud, or whatever. Both aircraft and voice, please. How we're doing. So, right, I think, chaps, for this flight, we'll head towards, which was my original intention, head towards Glasgow, full stop landing, and then head towards Tiree, and we'll land there. I think that's the best thing, otherwise, I know a few of you have dinners waiting, and goodness knows what. And I've got to prepare for work myself tomorrow as well, unfortunately. But that'll be about an hour and a half, anyway. Is everybody okay with that?
What was the frequency for the ILS again? I seem to have lost it.
That's okay. It's 110.10.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
That's okay. And you should all have the identifier. It's come up now for me, IOO, next to that frequency, depending if you have it active. I've got it active. Yeah. So now we have the frequency. What we can do... actually, okay, this is interesting. Something else me and Aces were discovering last night as well. If you go to the CDI button, we're in VOR 1. If you press it, hopefully, press it a couple of times, you'll get to lock 1, which is the localizer frequency, which you need to be in for the ILS. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Great.
James, what's the code for the second airport, that Tyranny or whatever it is?
Oh, Tiree. Well, we're heading towards Glasgow at the moment, which is 115.4.
Yeah, I've got that. I was just wondering for the...
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Tiree is 117.7. 117.7. Oh, the 110.10. I'm going to be saying that in my bloody sleep tonight, you know. AC, it's good that you joined us in chat. He was going to join us tonight, but I know what you're doing. You're watching bloody NASCAR. He told me he might be watching NASCAR.
NASCAR's not on yet.
Right, Aces, come on. No excuse there. Sorry, my friend. I'm always having trouble with your accent. It's...
Sorry. Where do NASCAR drive tonight? Can you ask him?
Oh,
Richmond.
Richmond?
Yep.
Can we get the ILS frequency? Not yet. It doesn't look like that's. We got the frequency. Yeah, it won't give us the distance to the ILS. I don't believe, unless somebody knows difference there. I don't think you can get the distance to the ILS.
Showing 19.1 to that frequency.
To Glasgow.
1.1.
Oh.
Glasgow, 18.1.
Yeah. No, I meant to the ILS.
It's about half a mile short of the current heading.
Yeah.
Current,
I was gonna say that I'm being a bit dumb. When you get an airport in the centre of a VOR, it means they're both. Typically, the VOR is actually positioned at the airport or quite next to it. Yeah, it's just me being a bit dumb there. Not to worry.
Well, what you can do about that?
Sorry, repeat that, my friend.
People want to do
Distance to the ILS.
I think we've got Norman Collier in flight.
Yeah, whoever was chatting there, you were breaking up badly, I'm afraid. Do try again. Okay, chaps, what I'm waiting, okay, let's do this. I'm in Lock 1, so in the centre of the VOR, bottom centre, where that big compass circle is, I've got Lock 1 displaying. I'm waiting for the glide slope indicator to appear before I start altering the course. Because I've noticed that the NXI can be a little bit buggy if you don't wait for it. It's bugged out on me once, and I don't want it to happen again. But we can change it slightly. I'm going to actually change my heading to 330 degrees. That's not too far out. We'll still be heading somewhat towards it. And where the G is next to your altitude, we should be getting a glide slope indicator, I hope. Now, something we had to do last night was to cycle back through, cycle back through to Lock 1. There it is. Glide slope indicator's come up to me. If it doesn't come up for you, you may have to cycle back through using your CDI button. I don't know what's causing that. I'm assuming it's an NXI issue. And now I've got the glide slope indicator. I'm going to put my heading to 360 degrees or bearing up north. Magnetic north. Is that?
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Loud and clear.
Right, okay. Now, what I was saying is if you press DME, where you've got the bearing 1 and bearing 2, it gives you the distance to whichever nav point you've got selected. And if you want to change the nav point, you go into the reference where you do the ADF bits, and you can change that from 1 to 2, and vice versa. And it gives you the distance to the ILS.
Okay. Let's just come out of that a second. You have to use your FMS knobs, don't you, to get down? Or do you? Nope.
No, you simply go to PFD ops,
Yep.
and then there is a DME button.
Ah, okay. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Press this until you see F1.
I've got it. Ah, something else I've learnt. Something else I did not know. Thank you.
Nothing to thank for.
That's great. So, chaps, at the moment I'm heading on a bearing of 360. I'm just going to zip around. Yep, you're all following roughly. That's great. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, chaps, both of you. Sorry, who mentioned it in the first place there? That was a great tip. Something I didn't know. Whoever it was, thank you. That's brilliant.
Sorry, what this go, Dave, anyway.
Go on, one of you go ahead there. Okay, so we're gently making our way along. Could meet you in Glasgow. Yeah, Russell, please do. Yeah. It's not a race though; it's a marathon. You're right, Paolo. It is a it is a it is a marathon for sure.
Okay, James, I'm back.
Steve.
Tuesday, yeah.
Great.
Threw my keyboard against the wall, threw my mouse against the wall, smashed a few things up, and then deleted the community folder, and it seems to be stable now.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Smash things up.
Smashing stuff against the wall there.
Where's all my friends?
Yeah, I won't endorse that one, Steve. But if it works for you, that's great.
It's legal.
So daylight hours. I mean, there's one or two people in chats here who are from Scotland. When I was in Belfast a few years ago, quite a few years ago, we had longer daylight hours this time of year. Is it the same in Scotland?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, it gets lighter the further north you go.
Right. Yeah, I remember Belfast. It was like 11 o'clock in midsummer, 11:30 at night, often before it went dark. It was incredible.
Yeah, my girlfriend's parents, they've just moved up to above Abbeymoor in the summer last year. We were going dark and they were still light. It's funny.
Oh, wow.
From south of Scotland.
That's incredible. You wouldn't think. I mean, it's a huge land, isn't it? We sometimes forget how big it is, Scotland. Hmm. So, in that case...
There's no very much population above Inverness, though.
No. Plenty of sheep and goats here.
Yeah, but there's a nice road, it's a North Coast 500. It's an absolute stunning road to drive.
Oh, wow.
That goes from Inverness right up the top of north of Scotland and round back into Inverness. It's a really nice route.
Hmm.
Driven it twice, intend to cycle it one day.
Cycle it, my goodness. Oof. Is it flat or is it very hilly?
It's not flat.
Ah.
Which way did you go up at Apple Cross?
Well, I followed the coast as much as I could.
Ah, yeah.
It's a few years back now, so
Is it Apple Cross? Is it Apple Cross the bit of windy road? That's good.
About time you showed up, you.
Hello,
I think
Hugh.
it's mad now. I think it's mad now, the North Coast 500 with camper vans.
oh, it's been a few years.
Okay, chaps, just so people are aware of what we're doing here, I'm heading 360 degrees. I'm waiting for that green line to come back to centre. And it could happen at any second. Just keep an eye on it, because it will start coming down, and we can follow it round. And head towards the sort of main heading, the main triangle. Which is roughly on 23, 230. So I'm just keeping an eye on that green line. Once it starts to move, I'm just going to use my heading bug to move it round.
What altitude do we need for the ILS, you know?
2,500 should be fine. I've picked it up. Have you not picked up the indicator?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Ignore me.
No, never. No. Now 2,500 should be fine. Let's just see. That's where we are on the map. It's not much help, but we're going to swing around pretty suddenly in a moment. And what I'm going to try and do, once I've got airport markers on, and once I'm 6 nautical, actually, you can see from the little display there how far you are from the airport. 6 nautical miles out. Try and get to flaps 1 under autopilot if you wish. Before you disengage autopilot, makes things a lot easier. Come to that later. That's a good amount of people. Great to see you all. Yeah, I once cycled the Ring of Kerry in Ireland. That was quite challenging. We did it for a charity event. That's the most I've done in terms of cycling. That exhausted me. Okay. Sorry, the line's moving, so I'm just moving my heading bug round. Sorry, what did you say? I cut you off there?
I was going to say, I don't even own a bike, so I don't even do anything.
Well, I currently cheat. I'm a bit older, so I use an e-bike nowadays. I gave up the car, gave up driving a while ago because it was doing my heading when I lived in London, especially. Got myself an e-bike, which I quite enjoy.
Just got himself one. They're really good.
Yeah, really are. I mean, you just along for the ride on them, really. And cheap as well. I mean, it takes a few hours, a few pence to charge it, so it's really good in that sense. Okay, so I'm now for myself. I'm swung around on the heading towards the airport. Oh, and there's a big hill in front of me. I should make that. Hopefully before the ILS indicator comes down. If you find yourself in a position where you're heading into a hill, by the way, I mean, use your heading mode to get around it, obviously. There's Glasgow Airport straight ahead of us there. Nesmuk, are you going in for your landing?
Won't be happening yet, I think, but I'm headed in the right direction. I see everybody ahead of me.
Okay. And Rossen, I see you there. That's great. And Bakerfly. And Christ, I'm not sure. Christ, I'm not sure if you're there. Thanks for being with us, Christ. That's great. Not sure about the rest of the people.
Looks like Disco Dave's just about to land.
Oh! Oh, Dave. You didn't let me catch you.
And I'm coming in just behind him.
Okay. So there you go. I'm just following that ILS, that arrow, the main big arrow pointing upwards, and with this localizer you got a blue arrow underneath it showing us where we're heading. Thanks to somebody who mentioned that before. That was Einsdeck, wasn't it? Eins? I probably butchered your name.
It was Andy Ferrum.
Right, thank you.
Like the famous Norway death metal Viking metal band.
Ah! Okay. You got deathly silent there. I used to like Iron Maiden back in the day. They were pretty good.
I know, I listened to them today as well.
Ah, great. And my brother was into Kiss. He really loved the Kiss group. Didn't quite get into that.
Sorry about that, James. My sympathies.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the album covers were incredible, gotta say.
They were good. Actually, they were pretty good.
Okay, so what are we? We are those following 10 nautical miles out. We've still got a bit of distance to cover. And I'm hoping I'm... say that again?
10 nautical miles.
Yeah, 10 nautical miles, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty above.
So we're getting there.
And the glide slope starts to move.
Yep, ditto.
Almost right, slope right above you, James.
Right, I'm lowering my speed to 1900 under autopilot just to make life easier for myself. 1900 RPM.
Well, my initial fix was at 2900.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so you've got the glide slope indicator moving down quicker for you, I expect.
Yep.
And
Right, flaps 1. Oops, let's get back into view. There we go. Just ensure my flaps are deployed. Glide. Good thing if you're not used to glide slope indicators, if the diamond goes below center, you need to descend. If it's above the center, you need to climb. That's the best way to look at it. So if it goes beyond the center, and for those curious, this diamond here, when it gets to that center line there, if it goes beneath that, I need to descend. Above, I need to climb. I'm waiting for it. Let me just increase my throttle there. I didn't realise it went down the RPM so much. So now I can disengage autopilot and simply follow, hopefully, that glide slope down. Can't see a thing of the airport. Too many names ahead of me, so that should be okay. As long as I follow the glide slope, should be okay. Just adjusting the trim. Every time, I had this discussion with Aces yesterday as well. Something about the trim in Flight Simulator. It doesn't catch up, so you have to make sure you have it correctly configured coming out of autopilot.
I'm not having that issue with the honeycomb.
You're not? No, but Aces said he was, you see.
No, I had it when I had the Velocity Flight 1, not the honeycomb now.
Okay, I am getting it. I have to do it every single time. Okay, it might just be a Velocity 1 thing then. Aces, are you just feeding me sympathy there, maybe? Racker, I can see you going in for a landing there. Eins, Burm, I can see you there as well. Chunzi, yeah, great. So I'm not going to catch any of you on camera, unfortunately. I've come off the Glasgow slope. I wasn't in the concentrating, so I'm just going to decrease my throttle to descend and come to my right. So you just want to keep the green lines at the bottom of the compass there all connected as best you can, all one straight line. And you still need to descend. Not doing a good job there. Glide slope indicators. Yes.
Don't you ever let autopilot take you all the way down, or do you always come off of autopilot?
It depends how I feel. I do enjoy manual landings, I've got to say. Autopilot's fine, but then you are literally along for the ride. Yeah, typically I'll probably manual land it.
It depends on if anybody's watching me or not.
But I've got various people watching me, hopefully on YouTube, and hopefully I'm doing okay.
I need to drop my position of my camera going by you and watching you, and I can't see the bottom of my screen because I'm too high up in the cockpit.
Oh no.
So I need to drop it down a wee bit.
Are you in VR then?
No, just on in the cockpit, in cockpit mode. I can see on your screen you're in cockpit mode, but you can see both your screens. I can only see half the screens. It must be too high. I set my cockpit quite high.
Oh, I
so
see. Okay. Yeah.
My camera in the cockpit, sorry.
Okay, for those watching at home... Sorry, do continue.
No, sorry. I'm getting you repeated like 2 minutes later, so I'm answering your question like 2 minutes later.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah.
Seconds later, because I'm getting it on through my headset.
Of course, yeah, it's it's delayed the stream, of course. So for those at home, I need to climb because the glide slope's above me, so I'm just climbing a little bit there. Not doing too bad a job. I've come off it in terms of heading towards the runway. I just need to come to my right there. My heading, rather. So I just need to bank to the right slightly, not too much. I can see the runway quite clearly in front of me. Once you got a visual on the runway, I mean, it's debatable whether you just, follow the glide slope as far as you can, then just do a safe landing, really. We've got a couple of real-world pilots, haven't we? Hopefully. Flying with us.
Yeah, I'm back.
Great. Oh yeah, Hugh. Yeah, you. I'm sure you would know about that.
He won't tell you what he's piloting, though.
Tony, I can see you in front of me. It's looking good, my friend. Can't see the bloody runway. I can just about see the lights.
Yeah, I'm also there. Just been blinded by the sun flying over that river.
Ah, good luck. Yeah, glide slope I'm not doing a good job of following, but like I say, the runway's visually right in front of me there. I'm well above the glide slope, as the diamond's well below me, so I'm just going to decrease my throttle.
Is this touch and go or full stop?
Full stop, this one. Because we need to configure a few things once we get down. The idea was to get down first, but never mind. Looks like I'm one of the last. I'll just watch my speed there. I've got my hand on my throttle and hand on my yoke at the same time. It's one thing I do like about the Velocity one, the GA controls. Aces, you're going to swear at me because I'm landing on the threshold again, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There we go. Gently down. Okie dokie. Just vacate the runway to my left here. Raise my flaps. So I didn't finish that. One thing I do like about the Velocity one, you can have your hand on the yoke and GA throttles at the same time, which is always feels realistic. Now, who's to land? We got... Who be that? I missed your name there. Apologies. But nice landing. And we still got a couple of people. Big Muss is behind us there. And Red Samurai. Good luck. Couple of names. Is that you, sir?
Samurai, yeah.
Great.
Very for short.
Have I reset my altimeter? I don't think I did, Aces. No, let me just... Ooh, good point. Didn't reset. Since leaving live weather, it's a good idea to reset your altimeter. Thank you. Yep. Thanks, Aces. Let's get back to viewing there. Sorry, I'm missing a few of you. I've got Big Muss just there. Red Samurai, apologies. Nice landing. Big Muss, all eyes are on you, I'm afraid, my friend. So chaps, if you want to preempt that next VOR if you're on the ground, 117.7 or 117.7. But don't follow it because you're not going to be able to tune into it yet. Well, you can't follow it because you won't be able to tune into it yet. Rather, that's a better way of saying it. Bakerfly, I could see you above us. Are you with us on voice chat? Big Muss, where are you going, my friend? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, very nice. Yeah, you're heading towards the runway, that's great. For a moment, it looks like you were heading onto the grass there, that's great. And we've got Jim there as well. Jim's coming down, lovely. And once you're down, I'll get back into the cockpit here. Oh, lovely landing. That is lovely. Look at that. Perfect landing.
Oh, I got time.
Right in the centre of line. Did someone say have they got time?
Yes.
You have, is that Bakerfly?
No, it's Fracker 1.
Fracker 1. I thought...
Stay off the iron route.
I thought you were down. Where are you? Yeah, you're down, Fracker, aren't you?
Yes, it's a bathroom break.
Oh! Sorry, chaps. Sorry, there's a lot going on around my little head there. This is why I don't do many live streams, you know. I'm not that great at keeping up with things, but I do my best. So Tiree, 117.7 is the ILS frequency, so we'll get into our aircraft there. What we can... Actually, I can do this on nav 1 because I'm not going to need that ILS any longer. 117. And I'm going to keep the Glasgow, depending how you do this, I've got Glasgow frequency on nav 2 active. I'm going to keep it there because we're going to use that. I'm going to put the Tiree on nav 1 and make it active as well. But as you'll see, nothing will come up yet for 117.7. And
What's your Glasgow frequency, if you don't mind?
Glasgow is 115.4.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello. Good toilet break. What, was it a number 1 or number 2?
Number 1.
Had to be done.
Right. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay, not a problem. Okay, so let's just see now. 115.
At the wrong side of the runway. I think I'm at the wrong side of the runway.
Oh, it's not too good. 115. It's okay. We're taking off in the same direction, chaps. Now, with my display, my left display, I've had to cycle it so I get the green line showing. It's VOR 1 for Glasgow, even though it's nav 2. Cycle your CDI until you get 3 green lines, basically. If that makes sense, because you've got GPS. The other VOR just has 2 green lines with the center one missing. And the other VOR one has the green line, basically. Does that make sense?
Nope, we'll capture.
No.
VOR 1, VOR 2 and GPS.
Yeah, I can't get that. You want that? I see you clicking in it, but I'm not getting another lineup.
Are you on the... Is your nav set to 115.4?
It's... No, I've completely changed it. What have I been doing here?
Oh, that's okay. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I never had a time to practice doing this because I was... Right. There you go. Set.
Great. And chaps, at the moment, my arrow, my main arrows, the sort of pointy arrow thing, is pointing towards 310 degrees. So kind of like a northwest. So I'm going to put it to 320 degrees with the LBS knob. And we're going to leave it there because we're going to chase this ILS. We're just in front of the VOR, rather. We're just in front of the Glasgow VOR. Once we get up in the air, the arrow, if you look at my screen, the arrow pointing towards the big arrow will change to from. It will go on the other side. And we're going to chase this direction. Because we want to head roughly in this direction towards Tiree. Or Tiree. Is it Tiree or Tiree? It's one of them. So we want to head towards that direction, which will be a northwesterly direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So because we can't pick up Tiree, we're going to have to fly from the Glasgow VOR. So let's just ensure I've got my flaps up. It's something I always forget. Seem to have. Yep, that's fine. So I'm just going to do a rolling start here, chaps. Take off in the direction we landed. So off we go back onto the runway. Oh, I'm going to move my heading bug somewhere towards in between the sort of green center line and the arrow. So my heading bug's roughly on just after westerly bearing. So just about 280 degrees or so.
What altitude are you going to go?
Oh, we'll stick to 2,000. Actually, 2,000's enough for this. Sure. So we're all up. Great to see you back there, Steve. I thought we lost you for the night.
I nearly lost me for good.
It must be awful when you have those problems. So, autopilot.
Whole afternoon of trying to get the sim to work. Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Oh, I can bet.
It's better now. I could recommend everybody just deleting their community folder if they don't need to use it before they fly. Just put it into another folder and have an empty folder. And this is the sim's never run quite as good as this before. I see every aircraft right next to me, all the names, and it's smooth. Yeah.
Great tip, Steve. Just beware, chaps. I've got the from tab showing now. The arrows change direction to from. I'm having to change my heading to about 30, just about 33 degrees should do. 330 degrees should do, rather. 330, let's put it there. Because basically I want that green line, the centre line, to come inwards, and we'll be heading on that radial, essentially. The radial of 310. There you go, the green line's coming in, so I'm going to chase it in. Is everybody following along okay with that?
No.
Okay, so basically I've used my OBS knob, the triangular knob, to get my main arrow pointing upwards onto 31 degrees. And I'm trying to, if the green line, centre line, is either left or right to you, coax it back towards the centre.
Okay, I got it.
Great. It is a difficult one to get your head around if you've not done much of it, but it does work. What's going on with my aircraft there? It seems to have settled at strange altitude, so I'll just encourage it up. My throttle was playing up as well. That probably explains quite a lot. Oh dear, this is not good. Yep, not happy with that. Just a second.
We're not still using the Glasgow.
We are. We are, yeah.
We are.
Yes. Yeah, we're heading from it now. So Steve, I've got the Glasgow VOR arrow pointing towards 310 degrees, the big arrow, and you just chase the centre of it, the centre line. Whether it's left or right, you chase it left or right to get it back to the centre.
Yeah, it's not coming at all for me.
Ah.
330. 36.
I have my, sorry to interrupt, I have my nav 1 TIR in green, so I'm going headed towards that. Is that wrong? Shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, no, if you can see it, you can, you can do, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got my CDI to VOR 1.
Yeah, head for that if you got it. It didn't do this every time I tested, so this is a first. I had to really fly away from Glasgow. I'm gonna keep flying away personally because I just want to. It's one thing I wanted to pick up on that. You can also fly away from the VORs.
Right, but our ultimate aim is to go to TIR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Glasgow wasn't centering for me, but TIR is centered at 310, well, just over 300 degrees. So I know.
Yeah, no, go for it. Oh, what's my autopilot doing?
If it's anything like mine, I'd be worried.
Yes, it's taking me. It's trying to kill me, Steve.
It's an Australian one. Everything tries to kill you. Did you put a bend and snakes come out and spiders and
I can't use it at all at the moment. That's. Okay. I'll sort it out. Very strange, yeah. I mean, every time I press it, it just wants to go skywards. I have to take it off autopilot.
we are not alone.
Is your trim set?
Yeah, I'm trimming now, trimming for level flight, and once I'm fully leveled, I'm just going to stick it back on and hope for the best. Actually, I'll come down in altitude slightly. probably something obvious I'm overlooking. Are you going to be doing any commercial jet systems? Yeah, not the fly-by-wire system personally. Aces, I missed your recent video, in fact. I need to go and watch it after this. I believe Aces was doing an A320 fly-by-wire video. We're taken off from Glasgow Airport. I will be doing more Concorde videos. There's a couple of videos I want to do on that for sure. So it is an airliner. Pretty impressive airliner, I've got to say, it's speed-wise. Did you know, chaps, Concorde still holds the record for the fastest flight from London to New York on a passenger aircraft?
No, and I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised actually.
Yeah, 2 hours and 56.
Competition concerning that.
No. That's incredible though, isn't it? You're talking about an aircraft now 53 years old? Like, first flight was 69.
They should never have stopped it. The crazy numbers.
Yeah.
It's expensive to run.
I think it was an excuse to stop it, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Just not making any money from £5,000 flights, so it's all in the £99, £299 prices now. There's 15 million people want to spend £299 to get across the pond, but not many want to spend 5,000. Doesn't keep an airline going.
Some dumb question. What about these mountains ahead?
Avoid them. Yeah, use your heading mode to go left or right. That's what I tend to do with them. Or you can climb a bit if you want to, of course. I tend to just use heading mode.
And the relative terrain on the Gammon is a massive help, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What bearing are you on?
I was just trying to sort out my autopilot. I'm on bearing about not in heading mode there. About 310-ish at the moment. I'm still following the from though, so it could be different to other people.
We could pick up the IR.
Great. And that's probably enough, actually. I'll join you all. That's enough of the from radio, so we can swap that. Just see how we do it now. We can swap that to VOR 1 there. Follow the Tiree.
Don't forget to put your flaps up.
You didn't forget, did you?
Oh, of course.
There we go. I'm on the Tiree VOR and just coaxing the line inwards to the centre. In fact, not following my own advice there. I'm just using the CDI knob to centre that line to the centre. That will give me the centre of the VOR.
Which radial of this new VOR did you select?
It's going to depend on your relative position, but I'm on 29. It's not stopping yet. About 293.
5. 4.
I'm on 300, but I've got quite a lot of people to my right.
Yeah, you seem to all be flying in the same general direction, thankfully. Lovely views, aren't they? Absolutely stunning around here.
It's a loch, no a lake.
Yeah, we need Al W in here. He'll tell you.
Question for you, Jay. What's the relevance of setting the green line? Is it just because it's clearer to follow? Because you have the kind of light blue arrow showing you where the VORs are.
Yeah.
But what's the relevance of setting the green line?
It's just to keep it. It's just to keep it centered. So you basically you're just aligning your approach towards the center of the VOR.
Right. Okay.
That makes sense. I mean the blue arrow and the green arrow are pretty much pointing in the same direction, or they should be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just crashed.
Oh no. I think one's showing relative and one's showing actual. In other words, there.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. Yeah.
Oh no. So who crashed there?
That was Tony Dark.
Oh no, Tony. Do please join us.
I can hear the meal being prepared, so I'll dip out anyway. Enjoy.
Oh, I mean, you can spawn on us if you want to. Spawn on top of us and reset your frequencies. That should work.
Yeah, I'll try and catch up.
Okay. So there we go. I'm probably just about to make this hillock in front of me. Just... Ooh. Again, I'm crop dusting there. My goodness.
I guess none of you are on live weather, eh?
No.
No, a few of us were Hugh to begin with, but it was too adverse, really.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
I was asking about the aircraft carriers, Hudson. For Xbox, I figured out that there's when the Top Gear patch comes out, that's when you'll be able to do an Xbox Land on the aircraft carriers. There must be a Top Gun patch coming out with in line with the film.
Oh.
Then you'll be able to land on the aircraft carriers with bungee cords and stuff.
Ah, lovely. The Arrester.
Is anybody... Oh, sorry. Is anybody using the cloud today? I'm just wondering.
No, I was going to ask somebody about that because I've got an Xbox One up the stairs, but I never use it. But somebody said you could use the cloud to do it.
Yeah, and I've got an Nvidia Shield, right? And I've seen I can download on Android, off an Android Xbox, Xbox app, and I can use the cloud on the Nvidia Shield allegedly. But I just wonder if anybody's had to go yet.
Yeah, I have. You can play this on an Android tablet, and it actually plays reasonably well.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, you can actually, and it plays. I mean, it's a little bit of delay because you've got a delay from the controller to the tablet, and then from the tablet to the tablet. It's not. You're not going to dogfight with it, but this would be possible. Would be quite doable.
And then I understand you can only use an Xbox controller no matter what you're using. Whether you're using an Android tablet or an Android TV or...
I think as long as whatever controller connects to your device.
Most Xbox
as long as it's blue.
Yeah, most
And
controllers are Bluetooth.
And you have to have an Xbox Live subscription, of course, as well.
Yes, yeah, because they use the what's the name, Vita,
the Game Pass. It's a Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah, the Game Pass.
So has anybody actually tried that then? Somebody here who's actually...
Yeah. Yes.
And it works? Good?
Yes. Yeah, it does. I've not done a multiplayer flight, but I've done it, just sat in bed and put the controller on the little, what's the name pad, the little Android pad, and flew around not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, when Iberia came out. Yeah, with 50 other people around. Yeah, it's not as instant, but it's manageable.
And then, are you on a PC usually?
I am, yeah. And
so when you go back to your PC after that,
Has it messed around with your controls, like going
Yes.
onto that legacy?
No, it does. If you go onto the cloud, and you alter anything, it'll save those settings to the cloud. So if you alter, I don't know, whatever your controls or sensitivities or anything, it will adjust it as soon as you fire up the PC sim. It will be adjusted, so you have to be wary.
Yeah, because don't you on Xbox you have to do that legacy thing where it like highlights a button in a different colour, like a yellow colour, and then I guess when you go back to the PC it's still doing the same. That kind of thing.
Not too sure, but I know anything you alter in settings. Obviously, there's no graphical settings, but many other settings just obviously they stay straight to the cloud, especially sensitivities and control. But yeah, they do stay, but it does work. It's convenient.
Have you been able? No, it's okay. Have you been able to load in a flight from PC to Xbox though, Steve? Doing
yes.
that? You?
I've tried it both ways. He says I've tried both versions. Yeah, I tried loading from the PC to the cloud and then loading on the Xbox. I tried one of our flights and then creating a flight on the Xbox, saving to the cloud and then loading by PC. Yes, it does work.
Okay.
That was an Xbox One Series X, not the S, so it worked for me. And it also works via cloud as well, so you can save by either Xbox or PC, and then you can load via cloud on the tablet. So yeah, it's possible.
I couldn't do that personally. I've got Steam Flight Simulator 2020, but Xbox on Game Pass, and it wouldn't work for me. I couldn't save.
Okay, yeah, they could be because I'm using the Game Pass version.
Okay.
It's could be possibly one.
Yeah, you have to use both, so you have to have it on your PC game, you use it through the Game Pass, and on your Xbox to get it to work.
Yeah,
okay.
Sharing the account, aren't you, with Microsoft?
Yeah, because it's like a linked to your Microsoft.
What do you mean you have to have it on PC? What do you mean by that? I bought the game on my PC. Do I now have to rerun it through Game Pass then?
Did you buy it through Steam or did you buy it through the Xbox?
Microsoft. Through Microsoft.
Okay, so you should be able to, as long as you're logged into the same account.
Alright.
Yeah. As long as you go through like the Game Pass, is it the Game Pass app or something like that?
Yeah, the Game Pass app, yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to do it through there. I did reading about it.
Cool. That could be the
Just
future.
anybody that's looking to get the Game Pass, on the Xbox, if you're just thinking about getting it, you can get the Game Pass album for £1. But if you buy 3 years worth of Xbox Live before you do it, you pay £1 and it transfers your whole account. 3 years account for £1 in a Game Pass Ultimate. You just cancel your subscriptions and you get 3 years of Game Pass Ultimate for £1.
Wow.
More about this product.
So that's really handy.
Maybe offline or something.
You can get trials for about 50 pence a month.
Yeah, but that's what I done. I've got 3 years of Xbox Live Ultimate Pass for £1. So
3 years, my goodness. I'm paying $10.99 a month.
I've got a VPN too, and I've got like a Brazilian. Yeah, it's like £26 a year to get your Xbox Live too, so it worked out quite good.
Wow. Chaps on my...
What was the localizer that we're heading for?
It's Tiree. Frequency is 117.7. 117.7. On my Velocity 1, I've got a low fuel warning. I'm using default fuel, like I mentioned before. I kept it there because I wanted to get that low fuel warning. I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to take a look at my fuel to see how dangerously low I am. I've got 5 gallons of fuel left. It's hit or miss whether I'll take it. I'll get the master caution flashing if I'm about to run out completely. So it'll be interesting. I'm just going to see if I can make it to Tiree. There. Sorry, chaps, carry on. Just bringing that to people's attention.
Didn't you crash last time you tried that?
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I may have done. I may have done. Well, there's 55 nautical miles to go to Tiree. So it's going to be hit or miss. But I'll wait for the master caution to flash anyway. It's all good fun. Makes it feel more immersive.
I'll drop the light perhaps out as we get over the water.
Would you advise to get the velocity one?
I would, personally. If you have Xbox, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean...
Just use the Hot one at the minute.
Oh yeah, if you're using HOTAS 1, it depends how much you want to spend. I mean, the honeycombs, I don't have it, but I believe it's a little bit more fluid. And people can answer that who have it.
Yes. You can also get a honeycomb and Bravo package for about $389 now in the UK.
Really? Wow.
Well, I have the Logitech yoke and the throttle system, and I've got to say, with the panels, and it's much cheaper and works perfectly well. Honeycomb is better, of course, but if you want to go a little bit cheaper, Logitech
Honeycomb
works.
is definitely a precision one, isn't it? It's
Yes, absolutely.
Precision and professional.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the Turtle Beach is a general purpose, nice and easy to use, and works.
The Turtle Beach is the only ones that'll work with Xbox though.
Yes, at the moment.
I have an Xbox. I was using the HOTAS.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, I'm gonna make the move, buy the Velocity one, and give it a go. Right? And I know it was taking a punt because it's quite a chunk of cash. And since then, the only thing my HOTAS is doing is acting as a server for the rudder pedals. I'm using the HOTAS rudder pedals, and I haven't stopped using the V1 since.
Me neither.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, whoever mentioned before, is it worth it? I would say if you like GA throttle levers, it's probably worth it. It's the throttle levers that really sold me on it. And when I got it, I do enjoy the trim wheel and all the buttons, of course, all the options. I'm getting a master caution, so let's take a look at fuel. Yeah, okay, it's automatically reset. No, it hasn't. I'm just putting a bit more fuel.
It's also easy to remove as well. It's very easy to remove from your desk and put back on. It's 10 seconds to do it. The keys are there.
It's a really clever mounting system. Yeah.
Mine's not been off the desk, and even heli flying is great because you obviously just heli fly with one hand and keep right hand on the throttles. And yeah, the only thing I would suggest, I did have a word with James from Turtle Beach. This is one of the notes in the revision is they could swap the throttle quadrants. It was swappable from left to right, and it's not too doable with a slight redesign. Obviously, it clicks in on the right hand side. There's no electrical connection.
Yeah, there's no actual connection other than that USB link.
Yeah, had a USB on the other side. You can swap it over, click it in, and then you've got tools on the left. And I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I've got the Thrustmaster Boeing throttle quadrant, and all the levers are you can change them. So you can put throttles on the right or on the left, and flaps in the middle, and what have you. It's very cool.
That's a great idea. It doesn't cost them too much to implement as well, especially if they did a version 2.
Yeah, I have to look at getting the velocity. I bought myself a keyboard and a mouse, and that makes a big difference. So even just flying, just quick clicking buttons and stuff.
Yeah, it's good if you are too. With the muscle memory, it's right there. As Hudson said, you can actually fly with your right hand on the yoke. Literally, just reach out with your fingers, and the throttle is there. So it's right there.
Yeah.
I don't even use the fishbowl throttles. I've not touched the fishbowl throttles at all. I just use the actual levers themselves.
Yeah, I've reconfigured the vernier levers. So I've
Michael, you're more than welcome to spawn into us and join us. And yeah, I'm not going to insult a whole nation beluga and do my Scottish accent. I can't do it. I'm kind of from an area of England, North England, that's close enough to it, shall we say.
Yeah.
Use the SIP. In fact, I tried the update today and it didn't work. It keeps coming up with a framework error whenever I fire it up, so I'm not that worried. Even without 3 or so months when it came out, I don't really need myself to use it. I'll figure it out. But
yeah, there's a few people.
And in VR, you're not going to. If they use VR, you're not going to use it.
Few people on well, James's Discord were saying they were having trouble with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the software just won't launch. You press connect and it'll just come up with a red pop-up.
Yeah. Have you had troubles with your? You don't use it, Steve, do you? The SIP.
The SIP? No, I did. When the first one came out, when the original, they updated it a couple of months ago for it to start to work. It worked, but I didn't feel the need to use it. I just did 2 months without it, and I just don't look down at the yoke. I don't need to. I've got all of the controls on the dashboard. So I figured that I don't need to use it, and obviously tried that today, and it crashed. And well, I may figure it out eventually, but I'm not going to miss it if it doesn't work. The lights look pretty, just lit up.
Yeah.
And they're all on the dashboard right in front of you. You've got a monitor literally 18 inches in front of the face. And a lot of the time I fly in VR, so I can't see the lights on the SIP anyway. So I'm not going to miss it, but it'd be nice to get it to work.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like it for the master caution and low fuel because I'm always forgetting to top up, so it's good for that. And it's good to see just that I sort of glance that my autopilot is on, but obviously it's right in front of me, like you were saying, the AP.
Well, I've got that big spinny whirry thing in front of me that tells you when the fuel's running out. When it slows down so you can see
it's not slowing down, yeah.
Yeah. 3 markers in front of you so you can see those.
Absolutely.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's...
Benson, I was going to ask you.
Yes.
If you've got what weather settings you've got, because I've got a beautiful yellow sunset going on here, and I thought I was using scattered clouds, but yours appears to be...
I am. My time must be different. Let's take a look at the weather. What time do you have set?
I think I'm pretty live time.
Oh yeah, if you're on live time, it's a really nice sunset.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sunset, yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Let me just fast forward time. Yeah, there you go. I've got it. There you go. Fixed.
That's stunning.
Don't select live weather because it's raining and pea soup.
Ugh. So, chaps, when we get, we'll land at Tiree, runway 35. It's an interesting runway. It looks disused, and then when you go a little bit further up, you actually find an active runway. So we'll be heading for runway 35. As we approach the VOR, it's right. The runway is right in the centre of the VOR. Thankfully, you'll see a runway going across from you in your current direction, depending what direction you're heading in, and we're all heading in the right direction. It'll be going sort of left to right for you. It's the one that will be visible. But runway 35. Sorry, could you repeat that?
So we're going to Tiree?
Yeah.
Runway 35?
Yes.
It's not a runway 35 at Tiree.
I don't see one anyway. Yes, there is. It's right. You might have to zoom in on it.
There is you. It looks disused, but it's actually inactive. It's a strange old runway, as you'll see when you get there. It looks disused. A little bit further up, you've got an active runway. Very unusual.
It's not one of these mysterious grass strips that you like.
Not this time. I'm being kind to you. No, it's an asphalt runway.
Some interesting landings next week. Sim Hanger's doing one across the Panama, and it's like in microlighting.
Yeah,
Small runways, bush.
That should be fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. And there's going to be a few of us. I'm going to try and make it, but a few streamers should be there as well. Myself, Steve from VR Flight Sim guy, I think is going, and another chap's coming in as well. So it should be interesting.
See if we can break the 60 mark.
Yeah.
Be interested.
Rather him than me.
Leader with 60 people.
60 microlights.
Yeah. And it's maybe follow my leader, so there'll be a big long line.
Yeah, it will be good.
It's definitely a name tags off event.
So, have any of you, out of interest, tried the Concorde yet? I'm hiding behind the chair now. Oh, of course it's... Oh, yep, yep.
I haven't, but I've been having a good laugh seeing Concords flying everywhere. You look.
Yes, I tried and I crashed it.
Hmm. That's not good.
It's no good making a steep dive from 60,000 feet.
What do they show up as if you don't have one?
It's just a small GA aircraft, which is unfortunate.
Oh, okay. I wish they could fix that. So what
Yeah.
you're in shows up for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wish they,
traveling at Mach 2.
yeah, I wish they had like just a very base sort of list of models in the sim, and you know, so everyone got to see it at least.
Clients, so it's client that you can download.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't fly it, but you can see it. That makes a lot of sense because you said before you would sell a lot more aircraft if you would see that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking aircraft.
Yeah, it's also very interesting to see A320. That is actually a tail dragger and landing and then taxiing. That always looks pretty strange.
Those are the old styles.
Yeah, I recommend it for those who, I mean, hopefully it will hit Xbox. They're saying within a couple of weeks or a few weeks, but we've heard that before, haven't we?
Yeah, there's sort of replied saying mid-May, so...
Oh, good. Okay.
DC Design said it might be mid-May, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I mean, it's not meant to be a study sim. I think it's study sim because there's a lot to get your head around. But it's not meant to be absolutely accurate, I don't think. You know, like the PMDG, goodness knows what.
I have bought Concorde and I've got one flight in it, and it's very pretty for sure. And a lot of the controls do work, a lot of the buttons work, but it doesn't seem to be as representative as the one they had for Flight Simulator X. I can't remember who did that one now, but that was really realistic.
I never tried that one. Never tried it. Yeah.
Get a pump the fuel around and everything, otherwise you crash.
James, I'm going to pull up on your right-hand side if you want to get a shot of this
Oh,
beautiful
okay.
livery that Ace has designed.
Okay. Oh, okay. I've got Steve to my left and you to my right. Steve, are you flying the flags tonight?
I was,
Ah.
but I've had to delete my community folder.
Oh, of course.
So unfortunately, you can just Photoshop it in.
Right. Well, Alan, you're showing us pink to me.
Oh, well, okay.
That's definitely not mine. Oh, actually, no. Now you're coming closer. It's probably just the sunlight.
That's maybe Anna's own one.
It's the one I downloaded.
Yo, I can see it. Let me just zoom in. You were pink to begin with. Now you've gone. Yeah, you're still showing pink. Could be the sun reflecting on you.
Yeah, I dropped back just a little bit too.
I think if you get to about 80 to 100 feet, that'll start to show up a bit.
Fancy flying there, Steve. Are you in VR, Steve?
No, flat. We are. I couldn't see that. I can't really do the controls. You know, the numbers on the controls of VR. It's just a little bit too blurry.
Yeah. We got one more way. Great to see you there, David, and Disco Dave there. Another Dave. Great to see you both there. Both side by side, near enough. Okay, Al, you're coming. Yeah, he's showing very pink to me there. I don't want to see you pink, Al. Alan.
Oh, what's wrong with pink?
Oh, yeah, I can see the H, but for some reason you have pink wings and wheels. Yeah, I can see the H in the back. Brilliant. Okay, chaps, I'm showing 24 nautical miles. I think it was the right call to land at this one. Otherwise, it's another half an hour to the next airport. So, 24 nautical miles out. So yeah, going back to the yoke system, I can't believe it's not happened, but I'm thinking there must have been some kind of agreement with Microsoft on the Xbox and Turtle Beach and Thrustmaster. I'm really surprised we've not seen £100 yoke, even you know, sort of pre-release footage of one at the moment for the Xbox.
Right, just a cheaper version, yeah.
Yeah. Something like the Logitech flight yoke, unless they've got. I wouldn't surprise me if there's some kind of agreements there going on for a year or two.
Yeah, could well be.
I noticed there's still not announced anything about VR for the Xbox either.
No, it's tied to the system, isn't it? Tied to the infrastructure, really.
On the other hand, if you look at the HOTAS system for the Xbox, then I'm not sure I would want to have a yoke for 100.
Ah, fair enough. If it's something like the Logitech flight yoke, it's definitely good for £100. I can vouch for that for sure.
Me too.
Yeah, but if you look at the Thrustmaster HOTAS system, then that is from quality perspective, well, I don't finish that sentence. You can, I think you can understand.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's better than the... Go ahead.
Good landing, I need to go.
Okay, all the best. Is that Disco Dave?
Right. No, it's Big Bus.
Big Bus, okay.
See you again soon.
All the best, my friend. Thanks for joining.
It's
Yeah.
good to have the choice at various price points. I mean, a few years ago there was nothing. You only had the actual. What was the one that was a force feedback? Literally only 1 or 2 joysticks available.
That was a Sidewinder, wasn't it? I think.
That was the one. Okay, Jim. That's rude.
Did he come up your rear? Oh, but anyway,
Yes,
let's avoid that.
See, that was like the Back to the Future too, you know, when they're here in the back again.
Yeah, there's a lot more choice now. You're right. It was a Sidewinder back in Flight Sim 95 days, wasn't it? Flight Sim 98 days.
Yeah, and a great joystick. Like I say, I'm surprised there's no force feedback for many things. For this.
I'm trying
Does it support force feedback?
I'm trying to think of one that does, and I can't think of the name of it.
Seems to have gone out of fashion.
Honeycomb hinted at one in development in their last video in September.
I know one of the HOTASs does have force feedback, but I'm pretty sure it's not supported in this.
It was a Logitech G940.
The professional flight yoke.
No, it was a HOTAS system.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Joystick, thrust, lever, and pedals. And it wasn't that good.
Yeah, and the Brummer, Steve, if you fancy spending £1,000 plus you can get the Bremmer yoke, and that's got force feedback in Flight Sim as well. Apparently, I contacted them because I was thinking about getting it. And
the problem is they are Swiss located and there's tax and stuff on top.
oh, is there? Ah. Okay.
How does it know that you might want to have a look at your 4 o'clock?
$4 o'clock. Me or
Yeah.
4 o'clock. I don't see you on my 4. Are you above or below?
Directly behind.
Oh, I see you. I see you. Yeah, you're more like my 9 o'clock. I was looking at 4 o'clock thinking, where the bloody hell is he? There you are. And Fracker, very nice there, right beside me. Lovely.
I wonder why I did in this hacky plane.
Are you flying, Ainsley, are you flying, manual there?
Yeah.
Wow. Lovely.
I only really autopilot when I want to go smooth.
Yeah, good man, good man. Right, I've got Tiree Airport, I've got the airport points of interest 13 nautical miles ahead now, so we're coming close, and about 7, 8 nautical miles you should see the runway 35. It's, for me, it's the visible one, it's visible runway. And if I'm wrong, I've only done this once or twice, it's the visible runway you'll see going left from right. Or from south to north, pretty much. Can't see Scotland here. Nice relaxing flight without mishaps. Pretty much, yes. You can't see Scotland. It is Scotland, we're over the west coast of Scotland. Yeah, the lighting does look pretty special. Thanks, Mark. Mark's just popped into chat there, saying enjoy your flight all. The lighting looks amazing. And you can't see name tags, Paolo. Oh no, hang on. I can see. Can you? Anybody got a recce on Paolo? It's great to see you back, Tony. See you joined us again. That's great.
Just ate my dinner on my lap. And, yeah,
Right.
it's a bit messy.
I can bet. I think Steve's tried that, haven't you, Steve?
Yeah, it wasn't successful. It was one of those brilliant ideas I had, like cutting my toenails with a scythe, that you never do again.
I can imagine.
There's a whole hog have a virtual dinner.
It's handy if you've got a dog sitting nearby. You get to share it.
Well, I've got opportunistic cats.
Yeah. Don't like that. Just make sure it's not a good jumper, that's your best.
Yeah.
Hoping I've timed it right so we land and go off about the Chinese arrive and get delivered.
Okay. Well, you've got Tiree just ahead of you there. Yeah, I've got a cat as well. Yeah, he's quite a bugger when I'm not watching. So have you all learnt something at least today about VORs? I'm not sure it was... I mean, you can watch it back to see what I did.
I have.
Yeah.
And Ainz, thank you for your help.
Your videos are very good in it when you actually sit and watch your videos.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to get myself and Aces to do a video, because he was flying VORs in the Cessna 172 at one time, and I want to get the pilot's perspective, you know, the sorts of procedures that they would do in real life.
I learned that I need to practice a little bit more about that, especially in the Skymaster that I'm currently flying, because I can't see the lines on the NAV 1. I can only see that on NAV 2, so I need to read through the manual.
Fair. Okay. It's nothing to do with the aircraft, is it, do you think?
I think it has to do with the instrumentation, or at least me understanding the instrumentation. The aircraft itself should be quite capable concerning that.
Okay. So I'm just...
Which runway we going for, sorry?
35.
35.
But I tell you what, just land on whatever runway you can see. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Bit concerning. Oh, my trim's... Okay, I'm still in autopilot, that's why. Yeah, the trim goes wild as soon as you take it off autopilot with the velocity one. They need to fix that.
Just had my velocity one crap out.
Oh no.
Reset itself.
Ah.
That was scary.
Yeesh.
Probably to do with the hub. I don't like really like being on the hub.
Possibly, yes, yeah.
Or maybe it's just the hub.
Yeah.
Powered hub.
It is, but it isn't powered. It's
That might make a difference.
Yeah, it probably is. I think what I'm going to do is I'll just use the powered hub for the keyboard and mouse, and I'll just read this.
Yeah, I've got mine plugged directly into the machine, and then I only have my mouse and keyboard plugged into the hub.
It does do a lot of cycling, I must admit. It will cycle once or twice every hour or so.
Have you all got a recce on the airport there, on the runway?
Yeah.
I think I see it.
Great.
Yes. Perpendicular to the coastline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just on final now.
I may not see it for long. I lost connection, so.
Oh no. And you're just on approach there as well.
Yep. Successfully connected.
Fantastic. Disco Dave, I can see you there. You might be the first to come down there, maybe. A wee bit low there, so I'm just going to power up. Throttle up. Yeah, beware with this runway. It's disuse at the front, and then there's an active one just behind it. So a bit strange, as you'll see, no doubt. Lovely seeing you all coming. That's beautiful shot. Wow. Can anybody hear an F-15 or 18 or something flying around, or is it just the wind? Oh, okay. I see him, yeah. We're getting the royal salute again. So you should find a runway a little bit, well, where you are, hopefully. A lot of you seem to be down. There it is.
He's going into the ground.
Good.
Oh, he's in the ground.
Yeah, he's got cross damage off, I think. Oh, someone's just ahead of me. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, lovely shots. Whoever's that. Oh, and another. Oh, I didn't bounce. Somebody nudged me. Right, there we are.
That didn't sound very confident.
There we are, chaps. Isn't that wonderful? I'm going to catch up to you there, Al, because I can see a pink aircraft. It's either you or Steve. Yeah, it's you, Al. So I'm going to catch up and see if I can see that livery a little bit better. It's definitely pink. It's not just me. You'll see on the stream. Oh, now it's gone normal. How strange.
Well, whoever that is just passing me at first. Theirs is pink at a distance.
Yeah, that was me. That's me. Let's just throttle back up.
Okay.
Throttle back up and pass you by.
Yeah, you just show white on an Xbox when yours are pink.
Yeah, Al's on PC as well. Yeah, I can see it, Al. See it now. Yep, looks exactly the same. Lovely to see. We've still got... Oh, Hugh, we've got you coming in. Lovely. And Red Samurai.
Blue, I hold my head high.
Last couple of people coming in here. What's the water, Hugh?
I was going to follow him in, but there was too much water out there, so I thought...
I did alright, man. I did alright. Stop swearing. I don't worry about no water anymore. You can take that tag off.
And Red Samurai, lovely. Very nice. That's another pink aircraft. Have you got the... Yeah, you've got the Huddison livery as well.
Yeah.
There we are. We're not 7 Well, listen, chaps. Hugh, are you down, my friend?
Yeah, I'm down.
You're down, yeah. Listen, chaps, that was a lovely flight. Like I said, I hope you've maybe watch it back if you want to see exactly what we did there. But it seems that a lot of you picked up, which is great to see. Thanks for joining me. I'll do another live stream soon as well. Thanks for coming along, and...
Appreciate your courage in doing this.
Oh no, it's okay. It's always a bit of fun to actually hang out with the members of the Discord and subscribers. It's just part of the experience. Always love to do it. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, take care, bye-bye.
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 Bye, Ron.
Thanks, Alex. Cheers.